Everyone laughed when he said he would succeed, but no one knew what he was hiding. In a small village surrounded by dusty roads and endless fields, there lived a boy named Arjun. His house was not really a house. It was a fragile hut made of mud walls and a leaking roof that whispered every time the wind passed through it. Every morning, Arjun woke up before the sun, not because he wanted to, but because life demanded it. He helped his mother carry water from a faraway well, his feet bare against the rough ground. His father worked as a daily wage laborer, earning just enough to keep hunger away, but never enough to bring comfort. Yet in the middle of all this struggle, Arjun carried a dream. He wanted to study. He wanted to change his life. He wanted to prove that he was more than what the world saw. At school, things were not easy. His uniform was faded, his books were old, and sometimes he didn't even have proper notebooks. The other children noticed. They laughed. "How will you succeed? You don't even have electricity at home," one boy mocked. "Dreams are not for people like you, Arjun," another added. Each word cut deep, but Arjun said nothing. Because what they didn't know was this. Every night while the village slept, Arjun studied under a street light. There was a broken street lamp at the corner of the road near his hut. It flickered constantly, sometimes bright, sometimes dim, but it was the only light he had. After dinner, if there was dinner, Arjun would quietly take his books and walk to that street light. He would sit on the cold ground, open his worn-out notebook, and begin to study. The night was never kind. Mosquitoes bit his skin. The wind made his pages tremble. Sometimes the light would go off suddenly, leaving him in complete darkness. But still, he never stopped. Because inside his heart, there was a voice louder than all the struggles. One day, this will change. One evening, as Arjun sat studying, someone approached him. It was his school teacher, Meera Madam. She had noticed him before, his silence, his determination, his tired eyes that never gave up. "Why are you studying here, Arjun?" she asked softly. Arjun hesitated, then replied, "We don't have electricity at home, madam, but I don't want to miss my studies." There was a moment of silence. That night, something changed. The next day, Meera Madam brought him extra books. She gave him old question papers. Sometimes she even stayed after school just to teach him personally. For the first time, someone believed in him. And that belief became his strength. But life was not finished testing him. One day, his father fell sick. Without work, there was no income. Without income, there was no food. Arjun had to make a choice. Study or survive. For a few days, he stopped going to school. He worked in the fields, carrying heavy loads under the burning sun. His hands became rough, his body weak, but his mind refused to give up. Every night, no matter how tired he was, he returned to that streetlight. He opened his books, and he studied. Sometimes his eyes would close on their own. Sometimes tears would fall on the pages, but still, he studied. Months passed. Exams came closer. The same boys who once laughed at him were now confident. They had everything: books, tuition, electricity. Arjun had only one thing: unbreakable determination. The day of the results arrived. The entire school gathered around the notice board. Names were being read out. Students cheered, some cried, some stood in silence. Then came the moment. First rank, Arjun. For a second, the world stopped. No one spoke. The same boys who laughed at him stood frozen. Teachers looked at him with pride, and Arjun, he just stood there, unable to believe it. Years passed. The village changed slowly. But one thing changed faster than anything else: Arjun's life. Through scholarships and relentless effort, he continued his education. He faced new challenges, bigger cities, harder exams, but the boy who studied under a streetlight had already learned the most important lesson: never stop, no matter how dark it gets. One day, a car entered the same village where everything had started. People gathered, curious. A well-dressed young man stepped out. It was Arjun. He walked through the same dusty roads, past the same fields, and stopped near that old streetlight. It was still there, still flickering, still standing, just like his memories. The villagers surrounded him. Some recognized him, some didn't, but everyone listened when he spoke. They laughed at me because I had no light, but they didn't know I was becoming the light. That night, something beautiful happened. New electric poles were installed in the village. Every house received electricity. And near that old streetlight, a small library was built. Because Arjun knew one thing for sure: no child should have to chase light to follow their dreams. And as the village lit up for the first time, the boy who once studied in darkness smiled quietly, because his struggle had not just changed his life, it had changed many others.
I did it.